is enough said.
What's going on, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami talk. No, we ain't doing Miami Heat talk today. No, because as you see right here, I got the boy Amir from Team to Be Miami Heat, and today this is episode 2 of Dos Minutos. How you doing today, Amir?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to have this conversation with you today.
Bro, it's always great to talk about Miami Heat. And for those of you that haven't seen it, once you're done with this episode, go to Amir's channel, Team to Be Miami Heat. We cut episode 1. We did this episode a few months ago. We called it Heat Check, wrong name. So we put it to Dos Minutos. So we're gonna come back with this series. Talk some stuff with the Miami Heat when it comes to the team. We do the round table, but a lot of times we like to do our own thing. Episode 1 was a lot of fun, so today we're going to do episode 2. And episode 2, Amir, I know we did episode 1 with Bam Adebayo. We mentioned a little bit of the young guys, but I want to talk a little bit more about what the Miami Heat have been doing in Summer League. The Miami Heat are 3-0 right now at the Vegas Summer League. We've been dominating every game. We defeated the Dallas Mavericks 92-79. You got big performances from guys like Kel'el Ware. Kashad Johnson, unfortunately, goes down with an ankle injury. That sucks big time. And other players step up as well, Amir. So, I want to hear from you, my guy. How do you feel about this Summer League team? Kel'el Ware, some of these players. And is there anyone else you got your eye on?
Yeah, I mean, Kel'el is showing out right now. Like, he is showing that we stole Kel'el Ware at number 15. Like, he's playing like a top 5 pick so far in a small sample size, but still he's showing that we need his athleticism and his size offensively, and he's taking advantage of the smaller guys, which I like to see. And I thought he was going to be shooting a lot more threes, but he hasn't really been shooting a lot of threes in the Summer League, but he has been effective. I think he's shooting 40 or 50% from 3 right now in 3 games. But it's nice to see that he does have that post-up game, that he does have that nice finesse and touch and a good pull-up jumper. And defensively, like, he's averaging 2 or 3 blocks per game, and he averaged 2 blocks per game in college. So he could be that rim protector, and eventually he could be that person that puts Bam Adebayo back into his original spot, which is the power forward position. So having him and Bam defensively with Jimmy Butler next season, who's going to be playing in a contract year, who's going to be hopefully engaged and less load managing, with Haywood Highsmith back in the mix, our defense is going to be really good. And I was kind of worried once we lost Caleb, once we were potentially going to lose Haywood Highsmith, that this defense could suffer. We were a top 5 defensive rated team last season. I thought we could probably fall a little bit, but if Bam could be that roamer, that free safety on our defense that can help at the point of attack and the perimeter and allow Kel'el to guard the paint, this could be good. So I'm excited for Kel'el. The other guy you mentioned, Kashad, unfortunately twisted his ankle in the third quarter. He only played 19 minutes, but still had 9 points in this game, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 rebounds. Like, this guy is a defensive menace. I didn't even mention him. We know there's going to be injuries in the rotation. He's probably going to get some minutes eventually at the 3 or 4 during the year, but his tenacity on defense is amazing. Like, the deflections, the steals, I'm excited for him. His athleticism, we haven't had a guy like him offensively that was that athletic since we've had DJJ on our team, which was like 3 or 4 years ago, right? So having that excitement, someone who could electrify the crowd, is something that I'm looking forward to. And the other player is Isaiah Stevens. We don't have a true point guard on this roster right now. Like, Terry and Tyler are both combo guards. We have Jay Rich, who's like a shooting guard small forward on the bench. So right now we have Drew Smith, which we can talk about, but I don't know how he's still on this team, especially after he's dealt with those injuries. But he's a true type of pass first point guard who can set up Jimmy, who could set up Bam, who could set up Tyler, and he intrigues me too. So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Dude, man, I mean, you nailed it in the head with a lot of those things. And look, I understand with Kel'el Ware, people will probably be like, oh, he needs to shoot more threes. He's only 0 for 1. As of yesterday, He was averaging about 24% from the 3-point line. I'm sure with his 0 for 1 attempt, it's going to go a little bit more down. But I'm not really looking at that, bro, because I know he can hit the three. I mean, he's shown it. He averaged 43% from college. I know that's going to be a developing skill. But the main thing that I'm watching with Kel'el Ware is just like you said. What is the one thing this Heat team does not have? Rebounding and rim protection. And we got them both with Kel'el Ware. I think that Kel'el Ware was a perfect option. You're seeing exactly what he does. I remember one of the games where he played Donovan Clegane. He was drafted way higher than Kel'el Ware, and Kel'el Ware busted his ass. So it's like you said, another steal of the draft. This is another Jaime Jaquez. And I mean, we're saying this in Summer League. We need to see it happen in the regular season because Summer League is great, but let's be honest, he ain't playing against the bodies in the NBA. So we need to see him do it. But the fact that he goes out there and averages 10 rebounds, 3 blocks a game, that's exciting for Heat fans because it gives you something that you haven't had. Bam Adebayo is a great defensive player, but he's not known for being a rim protector. He blocked the crap out of Jason Tatum's shot in the bubble. We remember that. But he's not known as a guy that can average 2 to 3 blocks a game. That's why he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year because the things that he does defensively doesn't show in the box score. One other name that you said, my guy, and this is the guy I feel that's going to take the final two-way spot. Before I say his name, bro, that Kashad Johnson thing, that's just breaking my heart because I looked at Kashad Johnson. I'm like, that's Caleb Martin 2.0. That's our next guy. That's going to be from all these guys. Josh Christopher, I mean, he showed that it's not consistent. I know he had 2 2020 back-to-back 20-point games, 9 points today. But, dude, Isaiah Stevens, again, with another showing as a floor general. 31 minutes, 12 points, 8 assists. Another game, he had 11 points, 9 assists. The previous game, he had 9 points and 7 assists. That's Kyle Lowry type of play without the big ass. So I think when I look at this team, I like Zion Pullen, I like Josh Christopher, but one thing that I'm looking for these guys when I see them play is who's consistent, who gives consistent numbers, who's a guy that's someone that you can rely on a nightly basis. And I see that from 2 to 3 players, Kashad Johnson, Isaiah Stevens, and our second-round draft pick, Pell Larson. I'm seeing consistency with these 3 guys. I'm seeing the same type of great games. These are 3 guys I'm looking at. I would have said it would have been a toss-up with that final spot between Kashad Johnson and Isaiah Stevens. But now I really think it's going to be Isaiah Stevens. So I want to hear one thing I do want to hear from you. You mentioned a few names. This Miami Heat roster, we have 14 players. We're not going to fill the 15th spot because that's going to put us in the second apron. Andy Ellsberg always does that. So that means we have to give 3 two-way contracts. Those two-way contracts are filled. Who do you think are some players that the Heat are going to eventually release to pick these guys up? Drew Smith, Thomas Bryant, Josh Richardson, who's currently injured. Who do you feel are the Heat are going to release to make some space for some of these guys, or do you think they're even going to do that?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. So again, with the two-way, there's 3 guys. So I don't know about Drew Smith. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to drop someone, he's technically a two-way, right? He doesn't have a standard
two-way.
So right now it's him. But we still have those 2 ways open, right? Because we have Kashad. We haven't given out those 3 yet, have we?
No. I believe they're not completely given out yet. I know that Zion Pullen is in Exhibit 10 contract right now. I think a lot of these players are on Exhibit 10 contracts, but I know that we're eventually going to have to release some of these players or release certain players to create space.
Right. So yeah, I'm hoping of the 3, Drew Smith, thank you for your service, but drop him, give it to Isaiah, Kashad, and Christopher. I think you just keep him in the pipeline because I don't want to see him go somewhere else. We need help with scoring. We were one of the worst offensive rated teams in the NBA last year, 3rd to last in points per game. So I know Christopher's probably not going to get a lot of playing time, but still, I think those are the 3 I would keep. In terms of dropping someone, I don't see them cutting a Thomas Bryant or anybody mid-season. So I feel like we're going to keep the 14 and we'll see what happens. I mean, can't we still use our mid-level exception for that last pick or buyout? candidate to not to
So,
stay on paper?
right now we're a first apron team, so we can use, but we're like $2 million under the salary cap, so we can use that $5.2 million exception, but it will hard cap us at the second apron. So that's the reason why I feel like you haven't seen the Heat make another move. So
Yep.
in order to do that, they would have to release someone. Probably, I think it's only like within a time that they're going to release Drew Smith. Like, for example, I'm looking at it right now. The Miami Heat's current two-way contracts, you have Kashad Johnson, he's on one, Zion Pullins on the other one, and Drew Smith has the final one.
Okay.
Alondis Williams and Cole Swider, they were offered qualifying contracts, but Miami Heat rescinded those.
Yep.
So right now, those are the three players. So in my opinion, keep Kashad Johnson. Zion Pullin, I think that's Isaiah and Stevens' spot.
Yep.
And then I would release Drew Smith and keep Josh Christopher. Like,
I agree.
that's my two-way players. Kashad Johnson, Isaiah Stevens, and Josh Christopher. I mean, I think that's the way to go. So Heat fans, we want to hear from you guys. Who do you think we should release from a two-way contract? I know you're probably going to say Drew Smith, but maybe you're not a fan of Zion Pullin. Maybe with Kashad Johnson's injury, you think we should release them. We have three of these two-way contracts. So we really want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Don't forget to take a moment, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Head on over to Team to Beat Miami Heat. He's on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Like, comment, subscribe. Amir, you want to say anything before we go?
I'm all good, brother. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to work on this series with you moving forward. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. That's enough said. Take care, guys.